my name is Daniel Mart, back again, and for this video, I'm going to be doing another movie haul, and I'm going to do this how I did one of my previous movie hauls, where I'm going to be filming this in parts, essentially. So today you get one portion of the haul, and then probably like 2-3 weeks from now, you're going to get another portion of the haul. So yeah, just kind of having to do this because of the videos I'm currently posting, I'm planning to post later down in the next couple weeks. And also, this is actually the second time I've filmed this portion of the video. I don't know what happened last time, but I guess it didn't save correctly. The video file didn't save correctly, so this is the second time I have to do it. So go figure. So yeah, I'm gonna start off with all these movies. I have three Blu-rays, and the rest are all DVDs. And I'm gonna start off with these two DVDs I got from my library. They're selling a bunch of DVDs and movies in general. Funny thing is, I just happen to have a lot of the DVDs they have, and on top of that, which maybe this is just me being, I don't know, what am I, Gen Z? But maybe this is me being Gen Z, but they want cash only. They don't want debit, so, you know, there's that. And I don't really carry cash anymore, so, yeah. That's the reason I don't buy from the library that often, in general, because most of the titles they have, want to sell, I already have them, surprisingly, and they also only accept cash, so go figure. But I did pick up two titles, and they are The Pursuit of Happiness and Matchstick Men. So these are two titles I got. I think Pursuit of Happiness is one of those big Will Smith movies that really put him on the map. I mean, of course, there's Independence Day and some stuff before that. Of course, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But I think when it comes to like some of his more dramatic work, especially in the 2000s, when did this come out? Like 2005, 2006 probably. But when this came out, it was really a big hit for him. I mean, he also did Ali. Now I think about it, before that, he got nominated for that. But like, I don't know why, but for me, Pursuit of Happiness is the one that, for me, is the one that broke him out in my mind. Maybe that's because I didn't know about Fresh Prince until I was like almost in college. Maybe that has to do with it too, but whatever. I don't know. For me, Pursuit of Happiness, I feel like, is one of his linchpin movies, especially from early in the day. So yeah, go figure. And as for Matchstick Men, I mean, I've just heard this is a really fun movie, really great thriller movie. I'm not really sure if it's really considered a thriller, but you know, a crime thriller type of stuff. So that's why I got it. Okay, next up, everything else here, for the most part, is from Goodwill, and that's gonna explain a lot in a minute. So I'm going to go off with the English titles first. Yes, you heard that right. English titles first. So I have technically five English titles, depending on how you want to see it. And the first one here I have is Love and Basketball. I know this one has a Criterion movie, or is on the Criterion Channel collection, which for some reason I always find a little bit interesting, but to be fair, I've also never seen this movie, so can't really comment on it. But I do know it's one of those pinnacle romance movies from the 90s, so that's why I picked it up. Next up, I have The Great Lover. I'll be honest, never heard of it, but, you know, was there for $1, so why not? Next up, I have the Tom and Jerry Shiver Me Whiskers original movie. Honestly, I'm a huge Tom and Jerry fan. I'm a huge Hanna-Barbera fan, huge animation fan in general, you know, from even when I was a kid. So, you know, just to pick up this movie, I'm pretty sure I've seen this movie back when I was like probably 5, 6, 7 years old. So there is that, but, you know, good to always have it because it's Tom and Jerry, so why not? And then kind of going off there with Hanna-Barbera and Looney Tunes and all that good stuff, the Warner Bros. Stuff. I have this Warner Bros. Entertainment pack from the Golden Gems. They're all Academy Award nominated animations, which that's one of those things I always kind of forget. That, oh yeah, Hanna-Barbera, Warner Bros. They do sometimes produce animated shorts, not so much anymore. But back in the day, they used to produce a bunch of animated shorts, and a lot of that stuff got nominated for Best Animated Short at the Oscars. So these are the stuff that it has, and the episodes, here they call it episodes, but the shorts that they have here are The Mouse Wreckers, Hatch Up Your Troubles, Jerry's Cousin, Little Johnny Jet, Touche Pussycat, From A to Z, or, you know, From A to Z, you know, Sandy's Claws, Goodwill to Men, Tabasco Road, One Droopy Night, High Note, Nellie's Folly, and Now Hear This. So those are all the episodes, the 13 episodes that are on this. I'm not sure if you can see it right there, but yeah. And then this one, it's the title's in English, but this is actually like Japan or Chinese, I'm not sure, but it's anime, and it's Panda and the Magic Serpent. And apparently this is like one of the first big anime movies that made it big, that made a splash here when it first came out here in America back in like the 60s or 70s. So yeah, pretty cool. And now, as I said before, these are really the only English titles, or like English and then Japanese, Chinese, Asian movie that I got, because the rest are all in Spanish. And I don't mean like, hey, here's a movie that's like, you know, The Usual Suspects, and I just happen to have a Spanish copy of it. No, I don't mean like that. These are all Spanish cinema, like it's all Spanish, like from Spain or Mexico or just Southern America in general. And yeah, I don't know what was going on at this Goodwill, but they just had a huge Spanish collection there, and I bought it all, which great because it's all $1, so why not? So yeah, the first one we have here, I'm gonna go alphabetical order, and we have Angel o Demonio, which is angel or demon. I'll be honest, I've never heard of any of these titles, so I can't really tell you anything about them, just so you know. Next up, we have Audaz y Braverio. Audaz and Bravero. I'm pretty sure those are just the names of characters, so I don't really know if there's a way to translate that. Pretty sure that's just their last names, so yeah, or maybe the name of a region that the movie takes place in, so yeah. Next up, we have Cartas a Eufemia. Cartas a Eufemia, which I'm pretty sure translates to letters to Euphemia. Letters to Euphemia. Yeah, I feel like Euphemia is probably like, again, a name of a person or of a region. Speaking of which, we also have Cartas Marcadas, and which translates to marked cards or marked letters. And this stars Pedro Infante, which is a huge Mexican star, just Spanish star in general. There's a bunch of these movies actually are Pedro Infante, and the best way to like describe it, it's almost think of like Spanish Elvis. Honestly, that's honestly the best way to describe him. Where he was very big when it came to his music, he was very big when it came to his movies. So it's kind of like that. I almost compared to Spanish Elvis. So Pedro Infante. Next up, we have Cuando tú me querías. Cuando tú me querías, which translates to when you loved me or when you wanted me. One of those two. Probably more when you loved me. Next up, we have El Siete Lengua. El Siete Lengua. And oh, this also stars Luis Aguilar, which both of these star Luis Aguilar, which I've never heard of the guy, but I'm guessing by the fact that a bunch of these movies also star him. He was also a big Spanish star back in the day. I don't know if that's him, so go figure. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm assuming that's him, so go figure. So yeah, but yeah, El Siete Lenguas, which translates to the 7 tongues or the 7 languages. Going on from there, we have El Hombre Inquieto. El Hombre Inquieto, which translates to the anxious man, I guess, or like the active man or the anxious man will be the closest translation. Here we have Escuela de Música. Escuela de Música, and another Pedro Infante film, Escuela de Música, which translates to the music school or the musical school or school for music, stuff like that. Next up, we have a double feature, 2 movies. We have Fiesta en el Corazón, Fiesta en el Corazón, and Música, Espuelas, Los y Amor. Música, Espuelas, Los y Amor. So those are the 2 movies. The translations, one of them will be Party in the Heart, and the other one will be Music. I'm not sure what espuelas means. I'll be honest. I'm not sure what espuelas, that word, is in English, but it'll be music, blank, and love. I don't know what that middle. I don't know what that blank is. So I'll just put the translation there. But it's music, something, and love. I'm guessing they're both musicals, honestly, just based off the fact that they both come in this kind of double pack. That would just make sense. Next up, we have Flor de Mayo. Flor de Mayo, basically the Mayflower. I feel like a bunch of these are probably like romance movies. Now that I'm really thinking about it, which it is what it is. Next up, we have Jesus, Maria, and Jose. Jesus, Maria, and Jose. So basically, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. The story of Jesus. So yeah. Next up, we have Conga Roja. Conga Roja. The Red Congo, I guess, is the best way to describe it. Again, Congo is not really like a. I think that I want to say that's probably like another thing, like it's a name or a region. But I'm also thinking like, oh, maybe it's like a Congo line, but there's that. But that Congo is with a C. This is with a K. So yeah, the Red Congo is probably the closest thing I can think of. So next up, we have 8 ranchero movies. These are 8 ranchero movies. So basically, like farm movies, Mexican farm movies, and they include La Barca de Oro, Ay Pena Penita Pena, México de mis recuerdos, Las Mañanitas, Tú y los Nubes, Amor se dice cantado, Solo Veracruz es bello, Échame a mí la culpa. So yeah, that's 8 movies, just to say them again, and then their translation, it's La Barca de Oro, so the golden boat, Ay Pena Penita Pena, Oh for shame, for shame, for shame, México de mis recuerdos, Mexico, my memories, or memories of Mexico, something along those lines. Las Mañanitas, the mornings. Tú y las nubes, you and the clouds, or you up in the clouds. Amor se dice cantando, love is told through song, or love is done through singing, something along those lines. Solo Veracruz es bello, only Veracruz is beautiful. Échame a mí la culpa, blame me. Blame me, that's what that translates to. And the funny thing with this is that I picked this up and I didn't realize, like, actually didn't look at what movies there were. So because of that, I kind of ended up picking up La Barca de Oro by itself. So the Golden Boat, I have it 2 copies now. Honestly, I don't mind it, if I'm being honest. So it is what it is. So yeah. Next up, we have Los Cristeros. The Cristeros. I'm pretty sure Cristeros is actually the name of, like, one of the characters or the family of characters, from what I can tell. So the Cristeros. Next up, we have Los Hijos de Maria Morales, and another Pedro Infante film. Los Hijos de Maria Morales, so the sons of Maria Morales is what that would translate to. Next up, we have a 3-movie pack. A 3-movie pack. All these movies include Ninon Sevilla, which was a huge star back in the day. I'm assuming, given the fact that she has a 3-pack. I don't know why, but maybe this picture's kind of giving me like Marilyn Monroe vibes. So, you know, maybe Mexican Marilyn Monroe. But yeah, the 3 movies that we have here are Aventura en Rio, Revancha, y Llévame en tus brazos. I don't know why I pronounce it like that. It's brazos. Llévame en tus brazos. So yeah, we have Aventura en Rio, which is Adventures in Rio, or in the river. That's one of those things. It could be one of 2 things. If this takes place in Rio, if it's a Brazilian movie, but I don't think it's Brazilian. So if it's in that case, it'll be Adventures in Rio. If not, it'll be Adventures in the River. So it's one of those 2. Revancha just translates to revenge. And Llévame en tus brazos means take me in your arms. Next up, we have another Pablo Infante film. Trust me, a bunch of these are Pablo Infante. And this is Pablo y Carolina. So Pablo and Caroline, or Carolina. So yeah, that's a very easy translation right there. Again, another Pablo Infante film. We have ¿Qué te ha dado esa mujer? ¿Qué te ha dado esa mujer? What has that woman given you? What has that woman given you? Next up, we have Todo por nada. Todo por nada. All for nothing. All for nothing. Then we have Toros, Amor y Gloria. Toros, Amor y Gloria. And this one would translate to Bull, Love, and Glory. And the next up we have, or the last one we have, is Una Gallega en Mexico. Una Gallega en Mexico. I'll be honest, I don't know what gallega means, so I can't really translate to you, but it's something in Mexico. You know, this item in Mexico. So yeah, I'll leave the actual translation right there. But yeah, so yeah, those are all the Spanish stuff I got from the thrift shop. You know, all that stuff. So I got all that plus these 4 or 5 movies here from the thrift shop. So yeah, these are all the Spanish titles, these are all the English titles, and then let's move on to the 3 Blu-rays I have here. So the one Blu-ray I did get also from this Goodwill haul was Paddington. And you know, it's clearly it's used. I mean, you can just see how the paper right there is wrinkled up a lot. Honestly, I don't mind. Paddington's a great movie. It's a really fun movie. It's a very cute movie. Paddington 2, same thing. I think I like Paddington 2 just a little bit more than Paddington 1. But also, to be honest, I haven't seen Paddington 1 in a long time, whereas Paddington 2 I've seen a few times already. So there is that. And I can't wait for Paddington 3 to come out whenever it comes out, to be honest. I'm not really sure. I don't remember when it's supposed to come out, but whenever it comes out, I know it's going to be great as well. So I got that also at Goodwill along with the rest of these movies, the Spanish ones, plus all the other movies I showed beforehand, except for Matchstick Man and Pursuit of Happiness. And then the 2 other movies I got here, I actually got at a flea market. And first off, we have Red Dawn. Is this a remake? I always confuse it. I feel like I always confuse this with another movie. But yeah, I think this is a remake. I'm pretty sure it's a remake. It has to be a remake. I think I have the original somewhere too on DVD. And so I'm pretty sure this is a remake. So I just got it for there. And then this one I accidentally bought for a second time. And this is actually the 4K version of 1917. It's weird because I don't have 4Ks. I don't have a 4K player, I mean. So I don't really have, so for me, there's no real reason for me to buy a 4K disc. The only reason I bought it is because, like, oh, let me check if it has a DVD, the Blu-ray, and it does have the Blu-ray. Thing is, I already have a copy of 1917, the actual Blu-ray. So, you know, I guess I double dipped on this. I mean, if anything, I'll just give away the Blu-ray version of it and stick with the 4K because, you know, maybe one day I will get a 4K version, 4K player. So yeah, and it still has a DVD copy. So yeah, go figure. It is what it is. So yeah, that's all I've picked up so far. Again, just a bunch of Spanish movies plus a few other English titles and then a copy of 1917. So yeah, that's basically it. Hopefully this video doesn't get deleted or malfunctions or whatever during the transfer when I put this on my computer. So fingers crossed. But yeah, I'll see you the next time when I have more movies to show you guys, starting now. And here I am back again showing you what else I've gotten in the past, I don't know, maybe month, give or take, since I did the other parts of the video. Not gonna lie, don't remember when I filmed the other part of the video, so go figure. But yeah, I want to say it's probably been about a month, maybe a little bit over, since I did the last part or the former portion of this video. I feel like I did that portion right before October, and I'm doing this right after October ended. So I'm in November now. It's currently about November 8th, November 9th. I'm doing this at midnight, so take that for what you will. So yeah, now for these movies, I'm going to be showing them basically by seller, because I have a bunch of movies, and if I just show it to you through like, hey, these are all the DVDs and these are all the Blu-rays, I'm going to get confused as to where I got what from, so I'm going to do it by seller. So the first thing I'm going to show off here is the Digibook for Son of God. So as I've said a few times here in previous videos on my channel, I have come to Christ. I have come to God as of late. And Son of God is a movie that I saw when it first came out, almost 10 years ago, I want to say, or probably 10 years ago. And it's a movie that I remember I liked a lot. Now, I do know it has a lot to do with that show that they were showing 10 years ago called The Bible, something like that. And I remember I saw this movie with my mom, and we both enjoyed it, but we haven't seen it since then, or I haven't seen it since then. And it's a movie that I've always like kept in the back of my mind, like, oh, I wonder whatever happened to that movie, or like, I really like that movie, I should see it again sometime. And I was really surprised that they had a digibook for this, so I got it. And it's honestly for good. It was there on Mercari for a good price, for about $10, I want to say. So yeah, no, it's pretty interesting. I like it. I like reading through it. And also, I don't have that many digibooks in my collection. I'll have maybe about 5, give or take, 5, 6 with this one. So yeah, just another digibook to the collection. Next up, I have a few Criterions. So Criterion had their sale, their flash sale, like their 24-hour flash sale, where everything's half off. So I decided to get 2 movies from there, and they're both Charlie Chaplin, and that is Modern Times and The Great Dictator. I've never seen Modern Times. I'll be honest, I've seen a few scenes from it just because of online culture. I guess you could say, there's always those scenes that are online of him on the conveyor belt, right? It's him dancing around right next to that big gap in the floor, I guess, a balcony, I guess. So I've never seen Modern Times, so there's that. But as for The Great Dictator, I've seen parts of it. I saw it in high school. Thing is that I had to leave the class like halfway through it, so I never got to finish the movie. But of course, I do know the iconic speech that he gives at the end of this movie, which I guess, given the current times that we're in, is very applicable. It's always scary, stuff like that, where stuff from so far ago is still so relevant to this day. And, I'm not even going to mention the elections because they just did happen. Congratulations for those who won. Sorry for those who lost. I'm not going to say which side I was on, but, I know there's a lot of mixed emotions, but it's one of those things that I saw on Instagram. One of the main things I was seeing on Instagram was actually the speech from The Great Dictator trying to describe the current state of the world, and take that for what you will, but, it's something that's still poignant to this day. Next up, I have some stuff that I got from Kino Lorber. So Kino Lorber, they had their sale almost 2 months ago, I guess, at this point, if this is when I got them. So yeah, and the first thing I got here is Three Sisters. I'm not gonna lie, I got this purely for the joke of it. Me and my friend, I've said this in the past, but me and my friend have this thing where he does not like Chekhov at all. He's like haunted by Chekhov, who was a playwright, and one of his famous plays is Three Sisters. So I basically just got this for the joke, if I'm being completely honest. So there you go. Next up, I have The Secret of the Incas. So this is the movie that's most known or most recognized to have inspired Indiana Jones, just in what the topic of the film is, the adventure, the pulpy adventure of the film, and just Charlton Heston and his outfit in the film and all that. It's the movie, again, it's a movie that's best known to have influenced just how Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark is. So I got it for that. And also, it's a movie I just don't hear anybody really talk about it outside of that own merit. Like, I've never heard of anybody really talk about this movie on its own merits. Like, everybody's like, oh yeah, Secret of the Incas inspired Indiana Jones. But like, okay, what about the film though? Like, or like, what is the film itself good? Or like, I assume it has to be good given the fact that it inspired Indiana Jones. But like, nobody ever talks about it within its own merits, if that makes sense. So that's why I got it, to watch it and see what it has to offer. Next up, we have Murder by Alfred Hitchcock. As I've said before, I love Alfred Hitchcock. He's one of my favorite directors. He's there one or two, depending on who I feel. It's either between him or Scorsese, depending on how I feel on any given Sunday. And I feel like this is one of his lesser known films, and I haven't seen it. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it, so that's why I got it, Murder. Next up, I picked up 2 Titanic movies. First off, I have SOS Titanic, and next up, I have Titanic from, like, 1943, I want to say. So yeah, this is a German propaganda film on the Titanic, so take that for what you will. I just dropped the other one. Give me a second. Yeah, take that for what you will. It's a German propaganda Titanic film right there in the midst of World War II. Apparently, people say it's actually good. You know, like propaganda aside, it's still like actually a decent movie or well-made movie. Which, you know, given the fact that you're recreating the Titanic, it kind of should have some good effects at the very least and be somewhat good. So I am curious to see how this turns out, especially with the whole propaganda of it all. And then SOS Titanic. This is a movie that a lot of people like to talk about. I believe it's a TV movie, if I'm not mistaken. So there is that. So I am interested in, but a lot of people really like this movie and talk about it in high regard. And last but not least, for the Kino Lorber stuff, I have Philadelphia, Here I Come. And just to give some backstory on this, I've done Philadelphia, Here I Come. I have a short film version of Philadelphia, Here I Come that I did all the way back in high school. We basically did the ending, like the last act of the play, or like the last third of the act, because the way Philadelphia, Here I Come, the way it's split up is kind of weird. So Philadelphia, Here I Come is like a project that means a lot to me. It's a play that means a lot to me personally. Also, one of the monologues that Gar has in the play is one that used to be, it's a monologue that used to be one of my go-to monologues. It's one of those things that if I don't remember it as well anymore, but it's one of those things if I go back and, you know, really analyze and remember it and all that, I could probably like spit it out again. But yeah, it's like, yeah, what do you, I forget what the characters' names are, but it's like, yeah, what do you think? Like, Dick and Jerry, like, what do you think? You thought those girls were just gonna come with you? You guys are gonna go skinny dipping and all that? Like, it's something like that. The monologue was something like that. But yeah, that monologue used to be one of my main monologues back when I was like in late high school, early college. Yeah, but over time I just kind of forgot about it. But still, Philadelphia, Here I Come, I think is a great written great written play. Brian Friel, I think, is just a very talented playwright. I liked a lot of his other plays. I do have a collection of his plays somewhere here in that whole thing. That's where I keep all my plays here. So I do have a collection of a bunch of his plays there. So I think he's really good. He has a few other plays there, like the Faith Healer. I want to say it's called the Faith Healer. So there's that one, or there's another, I forget what the other one's called, but there's one that takes place during like the Irish revolutions. So that one's another one that I like a lot, and that's very interesting. So yeah. Alright, so these next three I got from Barnes and Nobles, and here we have Reservoir Dogs. I'll be honest, I've never seen Reservoir Dogs. Don't kill me. But yeah, Reservoir Dogs, and yeah, that's all I have to say, because I've never seen Reservoir Dogs. I don't know what you want me to say. So just don't kill me. Sorry. And then next up I have The Lost Boys. I've never seen The Lost Boys. I really wanted to see The Lost Boys. I got it just to watch it during October, but I just didn't have time at the end, so I never ended up watching it. So maybe for next year, you know, next year October, maybe just whenever I get the chance to watch it. And then again, as I said with Murder, I'm a huge Alfred Hitchcock fan, so I got another Alfred Hitchcock collection. This is probably like my third or fourth Alfred Hitchcock collection that I have in my collection, and this has Suspicion, Strangers on a Train, I Confess, Dial M for Murder, The Wrong Man, and North by Northwest. Now, North by Northwest is the only one I've seen. It's definitely the most high profile one on this pack, and it's the only one I already have. So realistically, I only bought it for the other 5 movies since I already have North by Northwest. And yeah, I've never seen Suspicion. I've never seen Strangers on a Train. I've never even heard of I Confess. I haven't seen Dial M, and I haven't seen Wrong Man. And yeah, again, I Confess is the only one I haven't even heard of. So yeah, can't wait to see this eventually. So next up, I went to Big Lots. And I don't know if Big Lots is like just a Florida thing or a whole US thing. But to kind of explain it, it's basically like another one of those big box brand stores type of thing. And yeah, so I went to Big Lots. And I feel like Big Lots is one of those stores that's just like perpetually about to be foreclosed. I don't know why. But like every single Big Lots I've seen is like, oh, we're always going out of sale for like 8 months. Like, what's going on there? But yeah, so there's a Big Lots kind of by my house. I actually didn't realize it was that close to my house, because I only knew of one Big Lots that's about 30 minutes away, and I usually have no reason to go in that area to begin with. But I went in another direction because of my job. I ended up going somewhere else because I'm a substitute teacher, so I was driving to a school to sub, and I just happened to pass through by a Big Lots. So I'm like, okay, cool, there's a Big Lots. After I get out of work, I'm going to go to that Big Lots and see if they have movies. And they had movies. And yeah, it's pretty well priced. So here we go. The first one I have here is a collection pack, and that is the Thriller 4-movie collection. And this has 4 movies. It has Pet Sematary, the remake, the recent one, A Quiet Place, Crawl, and Overlord. Now, to be honest, I already have A Quiet Place, so I got it for the other 3 movies. And I've never seen Pet Sematary, either the original or the remake, so this is gonna be very interesting to watch. I've seen Crawl. I thought Crawl is a very good movie. I enjoy it a lot. It's a fun little thriller. Overlord is one I'd want to rewatch again. To be honest, the first time I ever saw Overlord, I didn't like it at all. I just thought it was kind of like meh. If I'm being like average, like okay, cool, that's it. Like I don't care for it. So it's one that I definitely would need to rewatch. And then Quiet Place, I mean, I have it, I've seen it. It's great. What do you want me to say? Next up, I picked up Fences. Another just great movie. Denzel's a great actor. Viola Davis is a great actress. I remember I liked it a lot. I do think the ending was kind of weird, and I've read the play too, because again, this is based on a play, and I've read the play, and the ending is also kind of weird like that. But I think it's one of those things that's better on stage than it does on film. So take that for what you will. Okay, speaking of iconic movies I've never seen, Fargo. I've never seen Fargo. Sorry. Don't know what to say. Next up, we have Liz and the Blue Bird. So, yeah, an anime movie. I've never seen it. I've never even heard of it till I saw it there, so I picked it up. Next up, we have True Grit, the remake. And I may already have this on DVD, but it's one of those things, like, it's one of those loose DVDs I have in, like, my little buckets. So I may have this already, but, you know, I got the DVD. I got the Blu-ray version of it now, so if anything, this is an upgrade. And then here, I picked up From Dusk Till Dawn Season 1 and Season 2, both on DVD. There's no Season 3. I think there are only 3 seasons, so hopefully one day I'll pick up Season 3. And yeah, I actually also recently watched the movie From Dusk Till Dawn, so I thought that was a great movie. I saw it earlier this year for the first time, and yeah, it was just a really great movie, a very fun movie, and the fact that they made a show on this, I can't wait to watch it eventually. And, well, I need to pick up Season 3, but after that, I'll watch the whole series, binge watch it, and see what happens. So next up, all the stuff here I have are from Dollar Tree, and this time Dollar Tree delivered with the Blu-rays, if I'm being honest. And yeah, it's one of those things that I went when I was coming back down from that job, from that substituting job where I found the Big Lots. I found this Dollar Tree. I didn't know there was a Dollar Tree in that area, so I went in there, got some stuff, and a lot of this stuff was good. Now here's the thing: I did go to 2 different Dollar Trees. So the first stack you're gonna see is from that. It's from like the good Dollar Tree, and the second stack is from like the bad Dollar Tree, I guess. Not granted, not Dollar Tree isn't bad. I go there often. A lot of my haul, especially this year, a lot of the stuff I've gotten is from Dollar Tree. But it's one of those things like one Dollar Tree definitely delivered, and the other one not so much. But yeah, so to go off with the first Dollar Tree, I have here Gangland Hooligans, and this is a movie that I always see at Dollar Tree. Thing is, I usually see it as a DVD. This is the first time I saw it as a Blu-ray, so I'm like, you know what, screw it, why not, whatever. By that same virtue, I have Shimmer, another movie I constantly see as a DVD at Dollar Tree, but I never pick it up until I saw the Blu-ray, and I'm like, you know what, screw it, again, whatever. Let's go for it. This one I just picked up because it just seemed kind of funny, like stupid funny, and that is V8 Revenge of the Nitros. Now, apparently this is actually a sequel to another movie called V8 whatever. I don't know, it just seemed like stupid fun. You just see like these kids like just riding their nitro cars or whatever, and I don't know. I saw this, I saw the back, and it kind of just reminded me of that one movie, Turbo Kid, which is like Mad Max but for kids, and that's kind of like maybe it's like that. No, it is what it is. Next up, I picked up Danny Collins, and I actually already have Danny Collins as a DVD, so this is an upgrade. Next up, I have Ghost Team 1. Again, I just see this movie a lot as a DVD at Dollar Trees, so I saw it as a Blu-ray, and I'm like, you know what, screw it, why not? Next up, we have Megan Levy. So this is a movie that a lot of people talk good stuff about. I've never seen it. Kate Mara, she's a good actress, and a lot of people think that this is one of her standout performances, so I'm like, you know what, screw it, why not? Next up, we have The Big Ugly, just another Blu-ray that was there. I was like, screw it, why not? Go for it. Okay, and last but not least, for the good Dollar Tree, so to speak, it's the Lego Movie 2, the second part. So, yeah, I'll be honest, I've only ever seen the first Lego Movie once, and that's when it first came out. And I'm kind of traumatized by that movie. Long story short, I saw it with a friend, and the one time I saw it, the only time I saw it, I told my friend, hey, I just didn't like that movie. And apparently that was the end of a relationship or a friendship, because that was too much to handle, that I just didn't like a movie for whatever reason. So for the longest time, I've never revisited that movie ever, and still to this day, I've never rewatched the first one. But I know a lot of people like the second one. I've seen Lego Batman. I saw the Lego Ninjago movie. I think there's one more other Lego movie they did. If I saw it or not, I don't remember anymore. There's this one, of course. I haven't seen this one, so, you know, it was there for $1. A lot of people like it, so I'm like, screw it, whatever, why not? Maybe I'll eventually rewatch Lego Movie 1 after I'm past my trauma. It's such a dumb, petty thing, to be honest. So yeah, but it's one of those things I remember. I was texting my friends like, oh, I found Lego Movie 2, but I don't have Lego Movie 1, so I don't know if I should get it because of that logic. But you know, I got it at the end. Screw it, why not? I'll probably watch that whenever I eventually get Lego Movie 1 and go from there. So yeah, now onto the bad Dollar Tree, where I only got one Blu-ray, which is Trick or Treat. Again, just another movie that I always see there as a DVD, and I'm like, screw it, why not? Get it for Halloween. I never saw it because I ran out of time, but for next year, I guess. Kind of to go along with that same logic of Halloween, I have Zombie World. So yeah, again, zombies. It's my favorite subgenre of horror, so any dumb, cheap-ass zombie movie that I see there, I'm even more inclined to pick it up. And there we go. So this is another movie that I often see there at Dollar Tree, and I picked it up again just because of that Halloween logic, and that is Trick. Don't know much about it. Again, I only ever see it at Dollar Tree, and because it was the Halloween season, I just kind of felt in a scary mood, even though I never saw it at the end, so it is what it is. Same thing with that logic. I have Voodoo Apocalypse. Not gonna lie, also the title and the graphic here just seem kind of funny and interesting, so I'm like, you know what, screw it, why not? Maybe it's a zombie movie, maybe not, no idea. Yes, I do. It says zombies right there. I just forgot how to read for a second. But yeah, again, any zombie movie, any dumb zombie movie that you put in front of my face, I'm more than likely gonna watch it eventually because I like zombies. You know, it's kind of like Durant Cinema and his just affinity with shark movies. That's me with zombie. I don't know what to tell you. And last but not least, with the Dollar Tree pickups, I have Earth to Echo. And this is a movie that I honestly haven't heard about since like 10 years ago when it first came out. I actually only saw this one time at an advanced screening of the movie with my mom and my sister and my stepdad. And I remember I liked it a lot. I remember that was also around the time where Astro, that's the name of the actor, Bradley something, I forget his last name, but he was coming off X Factor USA, the second or third season of X Factor USA, and this is like one of the first things he did afterwards. It was like this. He did the Red Band Society afterwards as well, so it was like kind of on that tail end of his X Factor career. So that's why I got it, and I haven't heard anybody talk about this movie since it ever came out. So I don't know what the status is on this movie. I think generally speaking, people like it, you know. But again, I haven't heard anybody talk about this movie since it first came out. It is a found footage movie. I do remember that's found footage, so it is kind of interesting in that regard. And I vaguely remember something about there being government agents, which makes sense, and like them getting sucked into a spaceship at the end and then coming down or coming out of it somehow. That's, again, I vaguely remember this movie too. Again, I saw it one time 10 years ago at the advanced screening, and that's about it. So yeah, I can't wait to revisit this eventually. And then last but not least, I have all the stuff I got from Goodwill. So again, that substituting job was very, very fortuitous because I went past a Goodwill that I usually don't go past. So I decided to go into that Goodwill to see what they had. And honestly, their selection was actually a lot better than I thought it would be, especially compared to the other Goodwills that I typically go to. So that is that. The only thing is, it is a little bit out of the way for me, but you know, maybe I'll go back there eventually. And they had a good selection. It's one of those things I almost had to like consciously limit myself to, like, hey, I can't buy that much, so try to limit myself. So that's what I did. So I have here from that Goodwill 4 Blu-rays and a bunch of DVDs. So here are the Blu-rays to start off with. And we have Big Hero 6. Great movie. I'll be honest, I haven't seen it since it first came out, but I remember enjoying it a lot. To follow up with the Disney of it all, we have 101 Dalmatians 2, Patch's London Adventure. So yeah, I've never seen this one at all. I've seen the first one, of course. The first one is a classic. I've never seen the second one. Did also pick up Monsters University. I don't think it's as good as the first one, but I think everybody more or less agrees on that one. So yeah, but I still think it's a good movie overall. Next up, I picked up Super 8, and I think I've seen this movie. It's one of those things that I probably saw it on TV, and I have like very, very vague memories of it. But it's also one of those things that I may have just seen like scenes of it online or like in video essays or stuff like that. So I'm not really sure. Next up, I picked up From Here to Eternity, just a classic movie. Of course, you have that scene of the two of them kissing right there on the beach as the waves crash. It was actually something that was mimicked or spoofed on Shrek. Shrek 2, if I'm not mistaken, where the waves come, where Shrek and Fiona are making out, waves come, and then Shrek is making out with like Ariel, and then Fiona just like jumps into the ocean. But yeah, From Here to Eternity, and again, it has Burt Lancaster, Montgomery Clift, Deborah Carr, just some big names of the time. Donna Reed, Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra's in this movie. Okay, I actually didn't know that part. I didn't know Frank Sinatra was in this movie, so go figure. Next up, I picked up Amelie, and this is one of those things where I honestly wasn't sure if I was going to pick it up at the end, because for whatever reason, like, I've seen, like, images and, like, a few scenes from Amelie, and for whatever reason, it's just a movie that I don't think I would like, or it just doesn't interest me. That being said, I love the packaging of this DVD set. Next up, I have Das Boot, and this is the director's cut. So apparently there's this whole thing where you should watch the original cut, or the director's cut, or the theatrical cut, kind of like Blade Runner, to be honest. So from what I understand, that this is a good middle ground. Next up, I picked up Darkness Falls, and kind of a backstory with this movie. This is a movie that I've been trying to look for some time, but I just didn't know the name of it, like, earlier this year. And the reason I was trying to look for it is because there's a scene in this movie, there's two scenes in this movie that have always haunted me. I saw this movie, for whatever reason, as a kid. I saw it, like, on TV, I was just channel surfing, and I just happened to like the scene, or how it was starting off, and the two scenes that always stick in my mind, it's the one scene at the very beginning where his mother dies, where, he's haunted by, like, the spirits, or the ghost, or the monster, whatever, and, he's attacked, and then his mother kind of saves him, and he's hiding out in the bathroom while you have, like, the apparition or the ghost, like, standing or, like, looming over the bathroom door. Like, he can't get into the bathroom for whatever reason, but he's looming over, and this is after he's killed the mom. So that scene's always stuck out in my head. And then the other scene that stuck out in my head is, like, when they're running through a hospital. I think the boy is, like, much older at this point, and they're running through a hospital, and it's, like, him, a child, a woman, and, like, another person. It's, like, a group of, like, 3 or 4 people. And one of the people just gets yanked, like, they're going down a flight of stairs, and, like, one of the people just gets, like, yanked and killed by the apparition, the spirit, the darkness, whatever. So yeah, can't wait to watch this. I wanted to watch this for Halloween. I didn't have time, so yeah, maybe next year, or maybe soon, I don't know. Next up, I have Analyze That. So I have Analyze This. This is actually the sequel. There's Analyze This and Analyze That. I have Analyze This already on DVD, so I decided to just get Analyze That. Honestly, I thought Analyze This was a fun movie, so why not Analyze That? And I just realized it has Lisa Kudrow. I literally just realized that. Nice. Next up, I have Atlantis, Milo's Return. I have the first one, so might as well get the second one. A lot of Disney here. Next up, I picked up Harvey. This is a James Stewart movie. I mean, I like Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy Stewart is honestly one of my favorite actors, like, straight up. I think he's so endearing. I think he's so charismatic in what he does. And, I feel like this is one of his lesser movies in general. I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment on how good the movie is, but I feel like, just generally speaking, everybody likes this movie from what I've seen. Speaking of Jimmy Stewart and Alfred Hitchcock, the man who knew too much. What can I say? I love my Jimmys. I love my Hitchcock. There you go. Next. So next up, I picked up Pi, which is Darren Aronofsky's, like, first film ever. So a lot of people say that this is a head trip of a movie. That's a very, like, trippy, confusing movie, so to speak. And it's one that makes you think a lot. So I can't wait to eventually watch it and think a lot. And to kind of go along with that thinking a lot, it's kind of logic, I have Stay. And this is a movie that's really, really gotten a reappraisal in recent years. I first heard about this movie because of Chris Stuckman. He used to do a series where he reviewed movies that, were underrated. And this is one of the movies that he talked about in that series. And ever since he talked about that, reviewed this movie in that series, it's a movie that I've always wanted to watch. And granted, I've never really gone out of my way to really look for this movie or anything like that. But I saw the DVD. I'm like, you know what, screw it, why not? Might as well get it. Next. So for the final stretch is the last stuff I got from the other Goodwill, because I got this on 2 different days. So here's the last final stretch. I feel like, if anything, this is going to be the very controversial stuff for some obvious reasons. So you'll see why. First off, we have Up in the Air. I've seen this movie a few times. I think it's very nice. It's cute. It's funny. It's quirky like that. And yeah, it's Anna Kendrick doing one of her first serious roles, I want to say. Of course, George Clooney, you have him there. Just a very fun, lighthearted movie, so why not? And next up, we have Due Date. I've seen parts of this movie just on and off on TV. I haven't seen the full thing. Of course, this movie takes a lot of cues from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's kind of a given, but again, I've only seen parts of it, so I can't really comment on it to a full extent, but I can't wait to eventually watch this. Next up, I picked up Cobra, and yeah, just Sylvester Stallone, a fun action movie. if I'm not mistaken, Cobra is basically the movie that was supposed to be oh my gosh, what's this movie called? The buddy cop movie with Axel Foley. That's the name of the character. Oh my gosh, whatever that movie is. I can't believe I'm blanking out the title of it, but like that's the title. But yeah, Sylvester Stallone was originally asked to be in that movie or casted in that movie, but he thought it was too much of a comedy and he wanted to make it something more serious. And so because of that, he eventually left the project. And Beverly Hills Cops, that's what it's called, Beverly Hills Cops. Jesus Christ. But yeah, because of that, he eventually made this movie. If I'm not mistaken. Next up, I picked up 2 Sherlock Holmes movies, and these are the old Basil Rathbone movies. So this is Sherlock Holmes and Pearl of Death, and Sherlock Holmes and the Spider Woman. So these are 2 movies. Honestly, Basil Rathbone, he's one of those golden age actors that I kind of just have a blind spot to, because I don't really know much of his work. And I feel like so much of his work is just dominated by Sherlock Holmes. He did like 12 Sherlock Holmes movies, if I'm not mistaken, and it's the thing that dominates him the most out of anything else he's ever done. Like, I can't really tell you what else he's done outside of Sherlock Holmes. But that being said, he's a very well-respected actor. He's one of those actors from the golden age that everybody likes, so why not? So I picked up 2 of those movies. I do know there was a shift halfway through the series where it was originally, I think it was like, it went from like Fox to Universal or something like that, and like the first couple of movies that they did at Fox, they were done with like a big budget, with actual care, as a movie for the masses, so to speak. And then when they shifted over to another studio, it became just a B-movie schlock. And I think these fall under the B-movie schlock category of it all. But it's fun that they still have Basil Rathbone, like they still kept the same actors regardless. So yeah. And honestly, I've always wanted to watch these old Sherlock Holmes movies anyways, so might as well get them as we see here. Alright, time to get a little bit controversial before the really controversial pick I have here. So here we have Charlie Chan and Egypt. Now, why is this controversial? I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if there's people here who don't even know what this is. So Charlie Chan is essentially Asian Sherlock Holmes. That's essentially what this is. And it's known for being kind of racist. The whole Charlie Chan series is known for being kind of racist in a sense. It's one of those things where at the time it wasn't seen as racist because it showed an Asian American as a as a good figure, as a good moral standing figure. But as time has gone on, it's been seen that this is kind of an Asian caricature, and it does lead into a lot of racist stereotypes, and that's why Charlie Chan in general hasn't been seen since the 1980s. From what I understand, there's been like no movies or no shows based on Charlie Chan since the 80s. But I still want to pick this up because you don't see Charlie Chan movies out there in the wild, just like you don't see Sherlock Holmes out there in the wild. You don't see Charlie Chan out there in the wild. And I've seen these big collection packs like on Shot Factory, for example, or Arrow Video, where it's like, oh yeah, you could get like these 4 or 5 Charlie Chan movies, but it's gonna cost you like $80. I'm like, do I want to do that? Maybe, maybe not. But if I just find one random DVD for $3 at Goodwill, why not? And we'll see what happens from there. Alright, so this last one, don't hate me. It's definitely the most what the fuck thing I've ever gotten. Period. And the reason I got it is because of that logic. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I cannot believe they actually made a DVD on this. It's one of those things where I assumed there would be a DVD of this, but it's one of those things that I just never thought or believed that I would encounter it. And it's definitely not a movie I would go out of my way to watch. But I guess now I have no excuse to not watch it, and that is Triumph of the Will. If you don't know what this is peak Nazi propaganda. This is the Nazi propaganda film, the Nazi propaganda documentary that beats all others. Just like Mein Kampf is the top Nazi book, Triumph of the Will is the peak Nazi movie. It is propaganda at its finest. Take finest however you want, both for its good and for its bad. It's one of those things that's similar to Birth of a Nation, where on a technical level, it is a really well done movie, but because of the message the movie has, it's kind of weird to talk about it in a positive sense. And I was shocked when I saw this on DVD. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I did not believe it, so I got it just because like, when else am I gonna come across Triumph of the Will. You know what I mean? So yeah, those are all the movies I picked up for the past month and a half. But yeah, I don't know if this is gonna come out before or after Black Friday. I'm gonna try to hold off till after Black Friday so I can at least have that. But regardless, if anything, you're about to see another haul soon. But if not, this is Daniel Mart signing off.
Alright, so this is part 3, I think, of this haul. I'm sorry if my voice sounds a little bit different. I've been very sick, I've been coughing a lot. It's been going away, but I still have a very, very dry cough. So if my voice happens to sound different, that's why. If you see a lot of cuts throughout this portion of the video, that's why. Like that one. So now to continue on with the haul. So I have a bunch of stuff here, bunch of movies I got here from, one of them I got from Amazon, the rest I got from a Goodwill, and then also this past weekend was the Miami Book Fair, so I got a bunch of books and comics or whatever that I might as well just show off, because why not. Furthermore, to kind of start off with this, keeping up the tradition with every single haul video I've done, or most every single haul video I've done, I always have some weird Amazon story, and this is no different. So here, I picked up the Criterion 2 Vampire, the Carl Theodor Dreyer film from like 1932, and honestly, this is a very hefty box set, I guess you could say. Very hefty Criterion. I didn't expect it to be as hefty as it is, and honestly, everything was good with this order. However, here's the thing: I've been trying to get this as well as some other Criterions for like 2 months already, and there's always been an issue. Either they don't ship it, or they try to upcharge me, or whatever. And so far, this is the only one I've actually been able to get. The other Criterions I want to get, or I've been trying to get, are, I was trying to get them right before Halloween, because Halloween season, this one included, and, well, we're in November right now, so take your guess how long that took. But yeah, the other movies I'm trying to get are Passion of Joan of Arc, The Phantom Carriage, Eating Raoul, and Haxan. So basically 5 Criterions, and I've only really got one of them. So yeah, again, I don't know what's going on. I understand that sometimes there are peak seasons where you order a lot of movies, or people tend to order more than often, so the orders are delayed. But this has never happened to me where like the order is still not coming in. I've ordered it. It doesn't come in. Like it says it'll be here on October 20th. It's October 25th. Still hasn't come in. Nothing has happened. I tried to contact the seller. Nothing has happened. So I have to cancel the order and then reorder again. I've done that 2-3 times already. And this is the only one that's happened to come by this point. I've tried to contact the seller. I've tried to contact Amazon to very little success. So, yeah. I don't know. I generally don't know what's going on with Amazon this year in general. It's like one problem after another. If you guys just go back through all the other haul videos I've had this year, you'll understand what I mean. Now to continue with the rest of the movies, these are all from Goodwill. I have one Blu-ray and like, I don't know, 15 DVDs I want to say, give or take. So yeah, the one Blu-ray I have here is Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Begins. This is the original Cartoon Network movie that was shown back in like, what, 2010, I want to say. And yeah, I didn't know there was a Blu-ray. I didn't know this was released on like DVD to begin with, physical media. So yeah, but this is the Blu-ray. This is the first one, because there were 2 movies there. There was technically a third one, but I'm not sure if that was Cartoon Network or another company. And it was only Velma and Daphne, and that was like from a few years back. But yeah, this is the original one, and what's interesting about this is that this has like the French subtitle right there, so I'm guessing like this is the Canadian or French edition or whatever. So hopefully it plays on my player, but yeah, pretty cool. And it also because I just did my video last month of top 10 franchises that got me into horror, and Scooby-Doo was top of the list, and always great to have Scooby-Doo there. So yeah, those were the only 2 Blu-rays I got, Vampire and Scooby-Doo. The rest are all DVDs. And here we have Disclosure, which is a Michael Douglas and Demi Moore movie. Demi Moore right now is very popular, especially because of The Substance. I have yet to see that movie, but I'm hearing a lot of great stuff about it, so why not? Next up, we have Swing Kids, which is a Nazi movie, or takes place during the Nazi times, Nazi Germany. I've honestly never heard of it, but, you know, I read the description back, and I thought it was really cool. Interesting, so that's why I got it. Next up, I have I Know Who Killed Me by Lindsay Lohan, or starring Lindsay Lohan. It's always interesting to, like, kind of go back and see some of these actors, like child stars, early roles, like Lindsay Lohan, or Miley Cyrus, Victoria Justice, whatever. Ariana Grande, especially right now because of Wicked, which I'm surprised it's getting as good as reviews as it is, but whatever. But besides the point, so I saw this, I'm like, you know what, screw it right now for like $1 or $2, whatever this was at Dollar Tree, at Goodwill. Pretty cool. And honestly, very funny story, and I think I've mentioned this in the past, but the first movie I ever remember watching in theaters was a Lindsay Lohan movie. It was Herbie the Crazy Car, Herbie the Love Bug, whatever that movie that she did. That's the only time I've seen it. I have it somewhere here in the collection. I've never come around to seeing it again because I don't know. Next up, I have The Machinist with Christian Bale. I saw this for the first time earlier this year. It was great. So to find it, I liked it, picked it up, go from there. Next up, we have Cattle Queen of Montana. And I honestly only picked this up because this is a movie starring Ronald Reagan, former President Ronald Reagan. And honestly, I picked this up like right after the elections. Like I went to Goodwill like shortly after the elections. So it was very interesting to see like that, you know, picking up a movie by Ronald Reagan now that Trump is president. I don't know why, like, me and my friend went to Goodwill, we went together, and that's one of those things we just happened to be talking about it. So it's like, hey, might as well pick it up now. So, why not? Next up, I picked up this Spanish movie, or a few Spanish movies here. This is Ladrón que roba al ladrón. So, robber who robs a robber, essentially. Or robbers who rob each other, something like that. That would be the English translation. So, yeah. If you guys knew or know already, in my last haul, I picked up a bunch of Golden Age Spanish movies or Hispanic movies. So, you know, kind of just continues the trend right there, too. And to kind of go along with that, we have Peleadas y Sabrosas. So, 3 movies right there. I'm not really sure what. I mean, I know what it translates to. It means fighting and sweetness and fighting, or fighting and sweetness. But I don't really know what that has to do with the actual movies behind it here. The 3 movies here are El Cemental de Palo Alto, The Sentinel of Palo Alto, I guess that's what Cemental, I'm guessing that's what it means. Los Maestros, the teachers, and El Agarra Todo, He Grabs Everything. So those are the 3 movies that are right here. Next up, we have Ella y Él, him and her, or her and him, however you want to go. And what I find interesting about this movie is the fact that this is actually a Peruvian movie. And for those who don't know, I'm actually half Peruvian, and I don't really know much about Peruvian cinema. I'm Colombian Peruvian. I don't really know much about Colombian cinema. I don't know much about Peruvian cinema. So just to find a random Peruvian movie out there in the wild, hell yeah. Next up, we have Unstoppable with Wesley Snipes. Next up, we have The Peacemaker with George Clooney. I'm not gonna lie, like this image and like even the images in the back make it seem like it's a way newer movie than it actually is. Like this movie's from like '98, and I don't know why. Like I'm even looking at the trailers, even looking at the still images online, I could easily see this being like a mid 2000s movie, like 2005, 2006. But no, it's from like '97, '98. Next up, we have Paycheck, Ben Affleck, Aaron Eckhart, and Uma Thurman. The Sentinel with Michael Douglas, Kiefer Sutherland, and Eva Longoria. Young Guns 2, so I do have Young Guns 1 somewhere here, and I know the Legacy sequel is going to come out sometime next year, I assume. I think it was supposed to come out this year, but I think it got delayed because I haven't heard anything about it, so maybe next year, unless it already came out and nobody's talked about it, period. But yeah, Young Guns 2. Also, I just want to say, I love these type of clamshell cases, right? That's what it's called, clamshell, or whatever, I don't know. First, I just like them just a little bit more than like the regular, like DVD cases, but that's just me. And last but not least, for the DVDs, we have Into the Blue with Paul Walker. And this is one of those movies that really blew up when Paul Walker died like 10 years ago. In the sense that, it's not the best movie, but it's a fun movie with him. It's one of those fun movies around that time, like those fun thriller action movies. Kind of like there with like Point Break, so to speak, or, the first Fast and Furious movies, or even something like Cellular. Does anybody remember Cellular? Is that what it called, Cellular, with like Chris, not Hemsworth, oh my gosh, Captain America Chris Evans, and he's running around. I remember watching that movie. It's like in that genre of movies, and yeah, people really liked it. Again, this really blew up when he died, and it's one of those that, when speaking about Paul Walker, it's one of those movies that people still talk about on occasion outside of the Fast and Furious stuff like this and Brick Mansions. So let's see what I got at the book fair. So in a lot of these booths, they tend to give out like these free stuff, like free little knickknacks, and one of the few little knickknacks I'm like, screw it, let me get it. It's like one of these tricolor highlighters. So why not? It's like, cool, whatever, you can always use a highlighter. Why not? And then the other thing that I got there when it comes to like free stuff, or one of the other things I got there from free stuff, is that there's this company there called Naru Chips. We're giving out their hats the whole time. If you follow them, which I'm just going to say, they have to know that we just follow and unfollow, like we just want the hat. Because that's what I did. I don't know about anybody else, but that's what I did. So, yeah. So, a bucket hat, why not? Screw it. And those two aside, these next stuff I picked up all from the same booth, which is like the main comics booth that they have there. I'm gonna have 3 Funkos and about a bunch of comics. I'm not really sure how many comics there are, but yeah, let me go with the Funkos first. So first off, I have here Figaro with Cleo from Pinocchio. Honestly, I'm a huge fan of Pinocchio, and I love cats. So I'm like, you know, let me get Figaro. Why not? And Cleo. Why not? Go from there. Going on with Disney as well. One of my other favorite movies there is Encanto and Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. No, no, no. We don't talk about Bruno. Well, this time we're talking about Bruno because I have him. So yeah. And then also I love the Turtles, Ninja Turtles. So I picked up Donatello. I already have a Raphael somewhere there, or Leonardo. I think I have all my Funkos up there. So I have a Raphael or Leonardo. I forget right now, or Leonardo. I have one of the turtles already up there. So another turtle right there. Okay, so I only have Leonardo in the block formation one. So yeah, now I have 2 of them. I don't know why I thought I had Raphael. Maybe it's because Raphael is my favorite turtle. Maybe that's why. But yeah, those are all the Funkos. The rest of the stuff here I have are all comic books and books. But yeah, to continue on with this stand. So this stand, they were selling a lot of these comic books where it portrays, I guess, classic stories. I guess is the best way to word it. And you'll see what I mean very fast. So the first comic here I have is Tom Sawyer. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, these comics are beat up. That's a good thing they're only $1. But yeah, we have Tom Sawyer right here. The French Revolution. Straight up just French Revolution. And yeah, when you want to talk about beat up, this is beat up. Like the cover here is completely detached, so I may just like restaple that at some point pretty soon, but that's what we're going with. I found these to be all very cool and very interesting, so that's why I picked them up. Going on with there, we have Macbeth, we have Hamlet. I wonder if this is like the whole Hamlet story or just like Act 1, or you know what I mean? Same thing with Macbeth. It's like the whole, all of Macbeth, or just like Act 1 of Macbeth. Uncle Tom's Cabin. We have Robin Hood. And then I picked up 3 more comics from this that has nothing to do with like these classic stories type of thing. One of them is this Kiss comic, Kiss the Demon. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm just noticing that this is actually the 4th issue of a series. It says Dynamite 4 right down the corner. So that means there's at least 3 other issues there. I wasn't aware of it. And I'm also seeing that this is cover D. I'm not sure if you can see that there, cover D. So there's at least 3 other variant covers. Either way, this seems pretty cool. I'm not going to say I'm the biggest fan of Kiss. I like some of their songs. If anything, I like their imagery more, and like the fact that they're just so iconic. But like themselves as musicians, I'm not the biggest fan of them, or like I don't know that much of their music, if I'm being honest. It's more like that. And I mean, Gene Simmons is kind of a dick, so there's that too. But yeah. Next up, I picked up, and this is mostly for me, Grumpy Cat and Pokey. Again, I love cats. I got cat. And then, as I said, the Turtles. So I picked up this random comic of the Turtles, TMNT number 43. This is the B cover, apparently. Again, I didn't really notice that these were like alternative covers. And now onto the books. Some of these, I will admit, I got for free because again, some of these stands just like to give out free books, and some of these I did pay for. So yeah, the first one here, which I did get for free, is called Hibiscus Mask. It's a novel. Don't know what it's about. Literally, the author just kind of like was just handing them out like that, and I kind of just like crossed him. He's like, "Here, have this book," and I just kind of kept walking. I'm like, "Oh, okay, thanks." So yeah, that's why I have this book. Don't know anything about it. Here I got 2 books, also free, based on religion, and this is Twistomatic Theology, a rebuttal from a Hebraic perspective, and Go to Heaven. So these are the 2 books I picked up. These are both free, and these are in the, I guess you could say, religious section of the book fair. And as you guys know, I've been coming closer to God, so maybe I'll read these, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just go through them a little bit and see what's up there. But it's always good to expand your mind in that regard and learn more about it. I'm only curious. The one thing I'm curious about is if they're going to be critical or not of religion. Next up, I picked up Who's Who in Fashion by Anne Stegmeyer. So I'm a huge fan of fashion, if in case you haven't noticed, even though this doesn't really match with that, but it just seemed kind of interesting, and it kind of doubles as, I have a book here in my collection already where it's like the best directors, stuff like that, so this is kind of the same thing, just for fashion. Next up, I picked up The Price of Loyalty, George W. Bush, The White House, and the Education of Paul Neal by Ron Suskind, and apparently this won a Pulitzer Prize. I mean, I got this honestly right after the election. This is one of those free books that I got there. So I'm like, screw it, why not? Maybe I'll read it, maybe I won't. If anything, maybe I'll give this to my cousin, who's very into politics. So who knows what I'll do with this book, but I got it. The Kings of the Cats, and other remarks on writings on writers and writings. So basically a essay book on different writers. And the last book I picked up here, which is the only one I paid for now that I think about it, it's supporting character players in cinema from 1930 to 1955. The versatiles Alfred E. Twomey and Arthur F. McClure. So yeah, cinema book. Why not? So this is the only one I paid for. I paid maybe like $10 for this, a little bit more. $8.50 says the price right there. $8.50. So yeah, that's everything I got from the book fair. If anything, I'll show what I got on Black Friday, and I think after that I'll cut the video. So yeah, and hopefully by that point the criterions I'm still missing will finally show up. We'll see what happens. But that's basically for now. On to the next.
Alright, y'all, so this is basically the Black Friday haul portion of the video. I finally got the Amazon packages I was waiting for, that I've been waiting for a stupidly long time, because Amazon just this year doesn't want to deliver correctly. So yeah, so I got all that. I got my whole Black Friday haul here. And honestly, a bit smaller, I want to say, than usual. But at the same time, that's also recognizing the fact that Best Buy no longer sells movies. Target apparently no longer sells movies anymore. And I'm down to Walmart. And honestly, the sales this time around at Walmart weren't that good, if I'm being honest. I'd say that I only really got a steal on one thing. And everything else was like, if I'm being honest. So I didn't really buy as much as I did, because honestly, just the sales weren't there, if I'm being honest. And there's also one item here where I'm not even sure if it really was on sale. I think what they did is like it's like that whole Black Friday meme. It's always on $30. It's always on $30. It's always on $30. But now it's on $50, but still being sold for $30. Like that type of logic. So there's one I'm kind of like, was this even on sale? Type of thing. So yeah. Just a few. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I just really was impressed with the sales this time around. I went to Target. I got some stuff. There's no movies anymore at Target, so yay. So yeah, but honestly, like this Black Friday, I was very disappointed. Very disappointed. So I'm gonna start off with the stuff that I finally got from Amazon, and go from there. So all the stuff I got from Amazon were Criterions. Again, I've been waiting for these for basically over a month at this point, because Amazon doesn't know how to deliver shit, apparently. And this is something I've discussed in a previous part of this video already, but like these came from Amazon directly, like Amazon.com, not like, hey, John Smith is selling something through Amazon, which is where some of the other packages I've gotten are from. You know, they're from like third-party sellers. No, this is coming from Amazon themselves, and they just don't know how to ship at all, which is annoying because, you're Amazon. If anything, you guys shouldn't be taking like 2 months to send something, but okay. So the first thing here I got, which is probably the biggest outlier here, because it's not a silent film, and that is Eating Raoul. This is honestly a very, very funny movie, very dark comedy. I saw this a lot around the time of the pandemic, because for some reason it's a movie that really blew up. For some reason around the pandemic, and I saw this specifically even more so when I was doing The Date, because I do have a very loose inspiration from this movie, or I did take some very loose inspiration from this movie when it came to making The Date. So I haven't really seen it since 2021, and I just noticed that there is an issue with this disc. Wow. Right there, I'm not sure if it can be seen, but like that is like a puncture right there. Like the plastic is good, but the paper itself is, what the hell, bro? Bro, that is, yeah, it's even wrecked in the, wow. Strike number 56 for this year for Amazon on giving me another damaged product. I mean, it's not that bad, to be honest. I've had even worse issues with Amazon this year. But, what the, wow, that's just bad. But yeah, there you go. It is what it is. Cool. Really funny movie. Really do recommend it if you haven't seen it already. It's one that not many people talk about. I think it's because it's very, very underground. So, yeah. And also, I'm just sorry for this glare right here. Like, yeah, it happens. Whatever. But yeah, really do like it. Do check it out if you haven't already. So like, these next three are all going to be silent films. And the first one I have here is The Passion of Joan of Arc. And this is one of those movies, pinnacle movies, silent film movies that everybody just loves to talk about. It's one that I've been trying to see already for some time, so I can't wait to eventually see it. And I'm making sure there are no imperfections on the case now. So yeah, it's really good from what I understand. It's one of those classic movies. It's from 1928, so it's already going to be 100 years old pretty soon in a few years. But yeah, and it's French. I mean, it has to be French cinema. So yeah, very great. Can't wait to eventually watch this movie. Especially since I already picked up another Joan of Arc movie earlier this year, thinking it was this movie. I picked up the Bergman directed Joan of Arc movie again, thinking it was this movie because I didn't realize there's another Joan of Arc movie. But yeah, now I have both of them, this one and the Bergman version. Next up here I have Haxan, which is a German film, a Swedish film. It's a Swedish film. It's almost like a documentary, really. I hesitate to say mockumentary because mockumentary kind of implies that you're mocking something, whereas this isn't mocking anything per se. It's, again, another silent film from 1922, so this is one of the oldest films I have in this collection, over 100 years. If anything, the next film I'm going to show you is probably the oldest film I have, but yeah, it's kind of like a pseudo-documentary where they're explaining the history of witchcraft and paganism, I guess, in a sense. So it's kind of a documentary, but there are some very fantastical elements, even outside of the subject matter. I saw it for the first time last year, and I thought it was really good, and that's why I picked it up now. Honestly, it is a really good movie. It is a little bit tedious, in my opinion, but that's more of a me thing, because I just find most documentaries to be just a little bit tedious. But again, it kind of toes the line whether is it an actual documentary or is it like a pseudo documentary? Like, what's that movie? Is it F for Fake by Orson Welles? It's kind of like on the same line as that, where it's presented as a documentary, but it's not really a documentary. And I kind of hesitate to call it a mockumentary because it's not really that. Because again, mockumentary, you're making fun of something and it's very satirical, whereas this is not satirical at all. And last of the Criterion stuff, and the last of the Amazon orders, I have the Phantom Carriage. So yeah, here's the thing. This, and I guess Eating Raoul more so, as well as the Vampires that I picked up in the previous part of the video, these were all supposed to come around Halloween, so I could watch them during Halloween. Same thing with Joan of Arc, you know? But no, I got them in December, essentially, because why would they send stuff on time? So yeah, that's why I have a bunch of horror Criterions plus Joan of Arc, I guess. And again, I picked up Vampires. And yeah, so here I have the Phantom Carriage. I'll be honest, I don't know anything about this movie. I just know it's a very classic horror movie from the Silent Age. It's one that a lot of people enjoy, a lot of people love, and that's why I picked it up. This movie is kind of on that same line as Nosferatu, as Vampires, as Haxan, as the Golem. So, it's in that same vein of horror, you know? Caligari, as the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. If anything, Caligari maybe is actually the oldest film I have here, but it's like in a box set somewhere, like a collection set somewhere. But besides the point. But yeah, it's kind of in that same vein of horror, of time, of cinema, in that gothic horror silent film age. So yeah. Now onto the Black Friday stuff. So everything here I have is from Walmart. And then I did pick up a few things from Target very fast, but I'll show that at the end. Just to get it out of the way, some non-DVD stuff I picked up. I picked up some shoelaces because I needed some boots. Yeah, why not? Might as well show it off here. I do think it's kind of ridiculous that they only come one shoelace per pack, so I have to spend like $10 on shoelaces, whereas like, just have them in 2 packs, have it for $5, and that's it. So like that was kind of stupid in my opinion. And yeah. So yeah, first off, the Blu-rays. I picked up 2 Blu-rays. First off, I picked up is Maxine, and this is one of those situations where I was mentioning earlier, like, is it on sale or not? Like, this was there for $20, but like I've seen like newly released Blu-rays there for $20. Like, that seems like an average price, but they were saying no, this was actually for $25, and now it's $20 now. So yeah, and I only picked up Maxine. There's a few other recently released movies I consider picking up, like Longlegs, for example, or the new A Quiet Place, First Day, for example. For $20, when it's not even on sale, question mark, I'd rather just pick up Maxine. I already have X, I already have Pearl. Might as well pick up this one and get it over with. By that same virtue, I also picked up the Steelbook 2, The Magnificent Seven. So this is the original Magnificent Seven from like 1960 whatever. I want to say 1960 on the dot. And yeah, again, this is on that same line of, is it on sale? Because this is there for $30, but the price ticket, whatever, it was like, oh no, this is actually going for $50. But like, I highly call bullshit on that one, that the fact that this would typically go for $50. You know, I feel like this is a 30 through and through.
And I did really consider not picking it up, but I've never seen this steelbook. It looks really cool. And honestly, $30 for this steelbook is makes sense. Also, because this is a 4K steelbook on top of that. So yeah, now I do have this movie already in a collection pack somewhere with all the other Magnificent Seven movies, were the 4 original movies. So yeah, but like, screw it, why not? At least get an upgrade for the original one and go from there. I have seen all those movies, the 4 original ones plus the remake from like 10 years ago, probably 10, 5, probably like 8 years ago, give or take, really. Honestly, I enjoy all those movies; they're fun. So yeah, I just haven't seen them in such a long time. Okay, this is the only item where I think was actually truly on sale for a good price, and again, this is another thing where I probably was gonna pick it up back around Halloween. I just didn't have the funds for it at the time because I was too busy paying for these criterions. I decided to come 2 months later. But this is the Universal Classic Monster Collection, all 30 movies. Now, originally, I would have wanted this to be in Blu-ray, and that's what I was looking at on Amazon, but the Amazon prices were just like even too much, even for me. So the DVD version is good for me, and yeah, this contains 30 movies from the classic Universal time. Some of these I already have in other collections, but some of these I don't. So yeah, I'm just gonna tell you all 30 movies that come here, and that is Dracula, Frankenstein, The Mummy, The Invisible Man, The Bride of Frankenstein, Werewolf of London, Dracula's Daughter, Son of Frankenstein, The Invisible Man Returns, The Mummy's Hand, The Invisible Woman, The Wolf Man, The Ghost of Frankenstein, Invisible Agent, The Mummy's Tomb, Frankenstein Meets the Wolf Man, Phantom of the Opera, Son of Dracula, The Invisible Man's Revenge, The Mummy's Ghost, House of Frankenstein, The Mummy's Curse, The House of Dracula, She-Wolf of London, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Revenge of the Creature, Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy, and The Creature Walks Among Us. So those are all the movies that are here. So yeah, again, 30 movies from that time, spanning from 1931 to 1956. And on top of that, it has a bunch of bonus features like commentary, archival footage, production stuff, trailers, whatever. So honestly, I think this was a really great deal. Probably the only good deal that I got on Black Friday, all things considered. Because usually this goes for 90 to $100 average. But I got it there at Walmart for $60. So honestly, that is an actual deal. That's an actual steal. Next up, I picked up the entire the entire show of the Flintstones. I already have the Jetsons. I got that at a previous haul, so I'm like, you know what? Let me get the Flintstones instead. And yeah, this was kind of there for, it was on sale, but like, it's one of those things that's usually there for like $45, but because of Black Friday, it was there for like $38. Like, whatever. It's like, it's kind of a whatever thing. I'm like, screw it, why not? I already have the Jetsons, might as well get the Flintstones. And I did want to get at least one TV series, like one full season of TV series. I was maybe going to consider getting the whole Walking Dead collection, but like, that was not on sale, period. That always goes for $150. They didn't even attempt to put it on sale. So, you know what, screw it, might as well go for Flintstones and go from there. I still did pick up a few other TV stuff. I picked up Tom and Jerry, the whole Gene Deitch collection. So, a bunch of the Gene Deitch episodes, but they include 13 episodes, and they are Switchin' Kitten, Down and Outing, It's Greek to Meow, High Stakes, Mouse into Space, Landing Stripling, Calypso Cat, Dickie Mo, Tom and Jerry Cartoon Kit, Tall in the Trap, Sorry Safari, Buddies Thicker Than Water, Carmen Get It. So yeah, these are all the movies, short films, episodes that are here. Honestly, I'm a huge fan of Tom and Jerry, and I've always enjoyed it ever since I was little. Again, with that like Looney Tunes stuff and Roadrunner stuff and Wile E. Coyote, like that was some of the stuff I watched a lot when I was a kid. Boomerang, and just having fun with it, so that's why I picked it up, and can't go wrong with it. And then going off from that, another Tom and Jerry thing, I have the Tom and Jerry Holiday Pack, 39 cartoons, and basically, yeah, 39 episodes, 39 cartoons. I'm honestly not sure if they share any of the same episodes, but there's that. And yeah, a lot of these cartoons here are very holiday themed, whether it be Christmas or them taking place in the winter, and yeah, they have 39 stuff. That's basically the whole list, if you guys want to pause right there. But yeah, that's what I got. And then kind of going on again with the cartoons, and because in fact I am a huge Scooby-Doo fan, I picked up the Scooby-Doo Holiday Collection, and basically it has 3 movies, Scooby-Doo related movies or episodes or whatever that take place in the holiday season, and that is Chill Out Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo 13 Ghost Tales, Holiday Chills and Thrills, and Scooby-Doo Winter Dog. The only one I know here is Chill Out Scooby-Doo. That's the only one that I think I've seen. The other two I have not seen. Maybe the 13 Ghosts one. Maybe the 13 Ghosts one, to be honest. But even then, like, 13 Ghosts was such a, not weird show, but, like, there's so many random episodes that I kind of never really kept track of that one. And then Winter Dog, I've honestly never heard of that one. And then the last of the movies here, I have the Roger Corman Cult Classic Collection. These are Vampires, Mummies, and Monsters. So yeah, Roger Corman, he has a bunch of like weird collections like this. I've shown off some of them in the past as well. And yeah, this is the Vampire, Mummies, and Monsters collection. So it has 4 movies. It has Lady Frankenstein, The Velvet Vampire, Time Walkers, and Grotesque. So these are the 4 movies that are featured here. And yeah, again, Roger Corman, rest in peace. He died earlier this year, and just a really great icon of cinema, especially indie cinema, horror cinema, underground cinema. And again, he has a bunch of collections like this where they come in 4-packs for like $10 each, and there's a bunch of random stuff like the drive-in collections and like the prison movies he did. So it's always cool to see one of these and just pick it up. It was there for $10. I feel like that's probably the regular price, like $10 somewhere there. So probably not on sale, but screw it, it is what it is. So yeah, that's everything I picked up from Walmart. And then the last things I picked up from Target. First off, I picked up the Joker, the World comic book, a graphic novel. And basically this is basically a bunch of stories with Joker, anthology where he's traveling around the world to a bunch of different countries and causing chaos, essentially. And I know they have a similar one with Batman. I'm not sure if it's the same countries. Probably, definitely the U.S. Like, that's probably the one that's the same across the board. But yeah, they have one with Batman. I'm not sure if that's the same countries or what's the deal with it, but you know, it's still pretty cool. Oh, this has a poster. I just realized this has a poster. Right? Oh, nice. Pretty cool. Maybe I'll hang it up. I'm not sure. But yeah. So I picked that up. And then I also picked up an Ozzy Osbourne Funko Pop because I like Ozzy. He's cool. Great music, you know, with whether it be him alone or with Black Sabbath. Well, I mean, honestly, one of the best rock stars, period. So why not? Alright, never mind. I got some last minute additions, like literally right now. Very last minute in the past day. And now I have to edit this into this video. So I got 5 movies, technically. I say technically because some of these are collections, so it's really more than 5 movies. So yeah, first off, I have here, it's this documentary, and it's called The Source. So from what I understand, this is actually like an episode or a series of episodes from this show called Travel the Road, and this series of episodes, I guess this arc, so to speak, is called The Source. It's basically about like the cartel industry, the drug industry down in Colombia and Peru, which is honestly the reason I picked it up. I'm Peruvian. I'm both Peruvian and Colombian. I'm Peruvian on my dad's side, Colombian on my mom's side. And like, here's the thing: Colombia typically gets the brunt of it all, so to speak, when it comes to the drug trade, drug industry, cartel industry, because you know what happened in the 80s and 90s with Escobar. But here's the thing: Peru is just as guilty. Like, that's the thing, and people don't like to comment on that, or just typically don't comment on that, if I'm being honest. And kind of, I like the idea that there is a documentary out there that talks about Peru's involvement in the drug trade and the drug industry, because they're a very prevalent force in the drug industry. It's just the fact that they get overshadowed by Colombia a lot, because Colombia, you know what I mean? So that's honestly the reason I picked it up. And next up here, I have Wicker Park. Josh Hartnett right now is having kind of a renaissance with Oppenheimer and Trap, some movies that he did recently. So, you know, this is a movie that he was very popular for back in the day. And also has Diane Kruger, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know what? Why not pick it up, go from there. This one, I'm not going to lie, I've never heard of before. I honestly just picked it up because Morgan Freeman, Robin Wright, and that is Mal Flanders. Also has Stalker Channing in it. And, yeah, I mean, honestly, that's the only reason I picked it up, because of the cast. Apparently, this book, Mal Flanders, or series, or whatever it is, has had a number of adaptations. There's also one with, like, Daniel Craig. Also, like, a few years later, for example, there's, like, another movie or a miniseries from probably the past 10 years, I want to say. So this is something that's always been there in that cycle. So, you know, why not? Honestly, I just picked it up because of Morgan Freeman and Robin Wright. So, yeah. And then onto the collection packs. First off, this is a 2-film collection, and this has The Son is also a star and Everything. So 2 coming-of-age movies or young adult movies, romance movies. So I'm like, yeah, you know what, whatever, why not? Honestly, I picked it up mostly because of Everything. I've just heard a lot more stuff about that movie. I remember it being popular
very well liked when it first came out. The Sun is also a star. That one I remember kind of just came and went, but it's one of those things that those who really liked it, loved it, and always talk about it. So I'm like, you know what, screw it, why not go from there? And then the last one, which I found kind of crazy, I found this at a dollar store, because yeah, this is all dollar store pickups. But the last thing I found is like another Hispanic collection of movies, Spanish, Mexican movies. This has 6 movies in it, and yeah, usually I get this at Goodwill, like stuff like this, a bunch of like Mexican or just Spanish cinema stuff at Goodwill. This is the first time I found it at Dollar Tree, and this has 6 movies, and the movies are Lamberto Quintero, el hijo de Lamberto Quintero, so the son of Lamberto Quintero, La Banda del Acordeon, the band of the accordion or the accordion's band, La Última Salsa en Colombia, the last salsa of Colombia, and I'm pretty sure salsa is referring to the dance salsa, like the salsa dance, not like a sauce. La Sureña, which is the siren, and Contrabando y Muerte, which means contraband and death. And actually, when I was actually searching some of these movies don't even have an IMDb page, so that just shows how obscure these movies are. Like, the 2 Lamberto Quintero movies had an IMDb page, and I'm pretty sure that was it. The other 4 did not have an IMDb page. And yeah, and also this is one of those things, like, it follows the trend of like these Mexican cinema movies where there's like some big singer, or big for the time singer, just like starring in it, and because of that, one of the songs in these movies, or there's a song that's related to a movie that just also happens to be named after the movie. So I found that a lot, so take that for what you will. But yeah, cool little collection here, why not? And yeah, that's everything I picked up here at the end for Dollar Tree. And yeah, after this is basically it. This is the last thing I'm doing, because I'm going to be editing the video right now, and it should probably be released within the next day or two. So probably Thursday or Friday, I would assume, is when this is getting posted. So yeah, that's basically it for now. Again, what are your thoughts on all the pickups? And yeah, this is Daniel Mart, signing off.